7.4 Congruent triangles. A solidify understanding task. We know that two triangles are congruent if all pairs of corresponding sides are congruent and all pairs of corresponding angles are congruent. We may wonder if knowing less information about triangles would still guarantee they are congruent. For example, we may wonder if knowing that two angles and the included side of one triangle are congruent. So let's just look what they mean. So here's angle A and the side in between and angle B. And remember, we noticed yesterday that this means that angle A is congruent to this angle R over here. This angle B is congruent to this angle S over here. This is what those markings tell you. And that this side is congruent to this side. But they aren't telling us anything about these other sides, just the angle, side, angle. And they call it angle, side, angle, ASA. Okay, so in geometry there's a lot of working with proving things based on some of these ideas that we're going over today. For example, we may wonder if knowing that two angles and the included side of one triangle are congruent to the corresponding two angles and the included side of another triangle, a set of criteria we will refer to as ASA, angle, side, angle, ASA, is enough to know that the two triangles are congruent. And if we think this is enough information, how might we justify that this would be so? Okay, so again, this logical thinking in math is good and useful in a lot of career paths you might want to take. So I want us to go through these steps here, because if you look ahead to the future ones, number 6, number 7, and number 8, they want you to go through these exact same steps. And number 9. So this is what you guys are going to be doing today, going through these steps using the tracing paper. Okay, 1. Based on the diagram, which angles are congruent and which sides? So what we said was angle B is congruent to angle S. That's how you write that, angle B. I'm going to pause for a minute and try to make this clearer, sorry. Too dark. Okay, angle B is congruent to angle S. Side AB is congruent to side RS. I'm going to leave some space so it's clear, but you could do it how you want to work. AB is congruent to RS. Let's check that. AB is congruent to RS, and then angle A is congruent to angle R. Angle A is congruent to angle R. To convince ourselves that these two triangles are congruent, what else would we need to know? Think about that. I'm going to pause here.